Welcome to this explainer. You've put in the reps, you've done the hard work, and today we are tackling the Code Review Final Capstone. And listen, this isn't just some victory lap. This is quite literally your blueprint to conquering the ultimate coding challenge. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so day 30. Arriving here means you've completely built up those foundational muscles, right? But I gotta tell you, this final capstone is the definitive test. It's exactly where all those weeks of tearing down complex concepts and, building them back up, it all converges into this one monumental task. And it is gonna demand your absolute best focus and execution.
Now, the very first instruction for this definitive test is pretty simple, but honestly, it is massive. Choose a real project. We are officially leaving the tutorial sandbox behind us. Because think about it. In a sandbox, the parameters are perfectly controlled. The environment is totally safe. And the problems, well, they're basically specifically designed for you to solve them easily. But out in the wild, you might inherit some legacy code base where a critical payment gateway relies on this tangled web of totally undocumented 5-year-old JavaScript. You actually have to navigate living code that is messy, unpredictable, and entirely authentic to a real-world scenario. That right there, that is where true learning actually gets permanently locked in.
So to really prove your worth on a real project like that, you have to perform this immense, full 360-degree audit. We definitely aren't just looking for a simple typo here. We have to start with code quality. Like, is this code actually readable and maintainable for future developers? Then you move to architecture. Are the foundational building blocks of this software structurally sound? From there, we got to layer in security to hunt down those hidden vulnerabilities, and of course, performance, just to guarantee the system actually runs efficiently without crashing under pressure. And then finally, we have to evaluate testing and documentation. Honestly, the unsung heroes that keep literally any lasting software project alive. You are basically tasked with stepping back and evaluating the complete anatomy of a project from top to bottom. It's a massive, massive undertaking.
But here's the thing. Finding all those issues across those targets, that is only half the battle. You now have to translate those findings into a highly structured, super professional report. So you start with an executive summary, and that provides the high-level context for the decision makers. Then you present your detailed findings, and you perfectly map those to a severity ranking. That way, stakeholders immediately know exactly what's on fire and what can actually wait. And then finally, you deliver your recommendations along with an estimated improvement plan. I gotta say, this specific structure is just pure gold. It translates your entire audit into a true professional standard, and it completely elevates your mindset from just being a junior bug hunter to a senior engineering consultant who actually diagnoses problems and strategically prescribes the cure.
And ultimately, this becomes your absolute strongest portfolio project, period. When you go through this kind of intensive, top-to-bottom audit and actually produce those consultant-level deliverables we just talked about, you aren't just doing homework to check some box. No way. You are generating a premium professional-grade asset. Look, hiring managers and technical leads, they don't just want to see that you can write a few lines of syntax. They want proof. Proof that you can analyze a totally complex system, identify its weaknesses across security, architecture, and performance, and then clearly communicate a strategic plan to fix it all. So, by framing this entire process correctly, this capstone, well, it's no longer just a hurdle. It's really the ultimate career-launching reward for all of the incredibly hard work you've put in over the last 30 days.
Which brings us right to the final thought I want to leave you with today. Will this become your strongest portfolio project? I mean, the framework is there. The targets are absolutely set, and the professional deliverables are totally mapped out for you. But the execution? That part is entirely in your hands. So are you ready to finally step out of the sandbox and step up into the role of a senior auditor? Dive in, trust the skills you've spent so much time building, and go conquer that capstone.